Man and machine versus nature is the tale yet to be told here. So you're going to get a chance to meet Jim, whose task it was to go for a swim down to 2,000 feet under massive pressure, but not just for a joyride, to do the work needed underwater as part of oil exploration in the Santa Barbara Channel. And by the way, Jim wasn't a robot. Jim was a massive diving suit. One man had to handhold or get his claws on the situation to repair leaks, weld, do whatever the task was that comes when man drills for oil below ocean waves, and that can spell trouble. Of course, the legendary coast of Santa Barbara, known as a touring area, a fishing area, and of course, banzai, surf's up. But the beautiful ocean waters off of the coast of Santa Barbara and its proximity also become home, too, in 1896, the first spot on planet Earth for the oil industry to discover the possibility and achieve the reality of offshore drilling. Petroleum, first discovered or at least utilized for fuel purposes in Pennsylvania in 1857 in a hit called Drake's Folly, figuring out that the stuff, if properly refined or heated, could burn. It largely replaced whale oil to light people's living rooms, and of course much of human history throughout time has been based upon the search for black gold, or Texas tea as it's also been called. Turns out it's mighty useful stuff in a lot of ways for humankind for a long time and continuing to this day. Why, oil-based products, diesel oil in particular, as well as gasoline, even drive the trucks that deliver oil to the gas stations and other places where liquid petroleum is harnessed for use in locomotion. Oh, but that's not oil the stuff is good for. Why, there's all kinds of household and personal recreation and personal comfort and need of living opportunities that arrive from the manufacture of petroleum-based products. By golly, it's a bonanza. Why, even plastics. Oh.
Hey, Dad, what about crayons? Do crayons come from oil?
Yes, my son. Indeed, they do. And now, for better vibrancy, color, and retention, you can use petroleum-based hair dye. And onto underwear, but then we want to get back to underwater. Now, an underwater drilling platform might look even picturesque, if not artistically beautiful, as the sun sets over the sea. And this mighty apparatus goes down hundreds of feet to tap into the bedrock and bring up the black stuff. Now, enough oil still lies under the seabeds for major oil exploration and drilling rigs offshore to keep the stuff pumping. The scale model of the Vinoco rig off the coast of Santa Barbara shows how this particular platform, built in 1966, goes down below the ocean and gets its drills deep down into the bedrock to bring it up. In quite the paradox of what we would think about the impact of oil rigs in the ocean, you just might have eaten a bunch of fresh mussels in Santa Barbara on any given evening in the restaurant or at home or bought at the store that grew underwater on the oil rigs. Of course, harvesting those mussels not only profitable, but kind of helps keep the integrity of the rig in terms of metallurgical and structural strength. But what happens, in fact, what did happen, in fact, what has happened and probably will happen, When the oil that doesn't seep naturally out of the bottom of the ocean becomes oil that seeps unnaturally from a blown oil rig. Welcome to the Santa Barbara oil spill of 1969. With 20 different offshore platform drilling rigs off the coast of the Santa Barbara area, something disastrous was bound to happen. Nobody knew exactly what it would be nor when until January 28, 1969. The site, Platform A. Over the course of 10 days, between 80 and 100,000 barrels of crude oil, that's 44 gallons per barrel, blew out from beneath the surface, putting divers like Jim to work. 10 days later, people began to truly measure the scope of the disaster. The black sludge, poisoned waters, ruined beaches, and of course killed, sickened, and devastated wildlife populations. Marine mammals, fisheries. For many, their doom was sealed. It looked really bad because it was.